Well, hello, boys and girls.
Hi.
What a wonderful day it is today in our money-based economy. Well, sit back and relax and get ready for the guy who's about to ruin everything.
Okay.
I'm puzzled. Are you really seriously suggesting that Jesus Christ was a mushroom?
He's old.
Jesus was a mushroom Roberts.
Yes.
I
You
know
are dealing
him.
with a secret cult, a secret society.
Whoa.
Welcome to Waning Interest.
Welcome to the Waning Interest Podcast, hour number 44, July 17th, 2019, Unlocked Wednesday, and we are, and don't you forget it, the smallest click on the internet. But how could you? We're just here for laughs for your shitty or non-shitty day. That's all. Today, Wednesday joke, maybe one extra or two. And the radio story, the Wednesday radio story, oh my gosh, it's an exciting one. I am a little bouncy. That was Joe Cruz you heard on the open, and you hear on the front and back of the promos. His link should be right there in the description, cruzvo.com. Email waninginterestpodcast@gmail.com. Man, you mentioned talking about thongs. You just make a joke about wearing a thong and a codpiece, and whew, flood of pictures. All right, not a flood like a, really bad one where, you got to get on your roof. More like, you hydroplane a little. But either way, some of them are strong enough to make it seem like it's like I'm on the roof. And it runs the gamut. Kind of like the first time I remember being in, thanks to being in radio, and was able to go to my first swing club in South Florida. Was it Plato's Repeat? That reminds me, there's some more stories to tell, but I got to add those to the list. Frankie, the owner, used to own the place in New York that was really famous, and I think it was portrayed in the movie about the Son of Sam, one with John Leguizamo. I can't remember the name. I think it was Son of Sam. Anyway, Spike Lee movie, I think, maybe. Wasn't prepared for this. This is just popping into my head. What was I talking about? But I remember realizing, wow, it really runs the gamut. You see, in a swing club, every shape and size, and from before all the plastic surgery, Pamela Anderson look-alike. To no offense, but that's not really attractive naked. What I'm trying to say is the pictures that I have received go from yin to yang. Anyway, you might be here from Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or YouTube or TuneIn or Google Play, Laughable, or Spotify. Welcome to the weirdest, okay, maybe not the weirdest, but in the top 10 of your weirdest 4 minutes you've ever heard from somebody for the first time, if you are a first-time visitor to the Waning Interest Podcast. Sorry, I'm a little embarrassed right now. You should be. I know. Anyway, welcome. It's 4:20. Welcome to the Waning Interest Podcast. If you are new, this is the Unlocked Wednesday that goes up to any of those places that I just listed and little offshoots. You're welcome throwing ads on your thing for, having me for free and others for free. But whatever. It's advertising. We'll take it. We're not about the money. We're about People's power here. Because on Monday and Friday, I do Patreon hours. Monday has bowling stories and acting stories. Friday, VO Story, Album of the Week, and the Friday Psychedelic Movie / Series. It's really exciting stuff, I promise, just like this 5 minutes and 15 seconds that you're listening to. I'm pulling you in, aren't I? Ha! See? But as little as $2 a month, $24 a year. You know what? That makes me a slut, not a whore. Because I'm not about the money, but I am about gaining whips. Waning Interest Podcast Pack. That's what you would become if you do come to the Patreon page and get those extra couple hours a week. And sometimes bonus hours, which go up here too, along with the Patreon page. Everything is at the Patreon page. So Unlocked Wednesday means that, it's on Apple Podcasts and all that stuff, but on the Patreon page, it's unlocked. Brilliant! Twitter, Instagram, Wayne Roberts 811. I don't feel the need to have a separate Waning Interest podcast. It's just, I'm a minimalist. And horrible at advertising. Hashtag the whips, lowercase the, uppercase WIPP, lowercase s. Hashtag Waning Interest Podcast Pack and hashtag Waning Interest Podcast. Do them. Use them. Let's fill it up. Let's make it big, but not too big. I'm more of I don't want to do stadiums or theaters. I'm good with a cool club, whether it's a band or as a comic. I like it intimate. You know, more localization than globalization. Even though all the localization you would want sort of connected to, it's just, you can help out each other. But it'd be connected anyway because we're in the techno age. Is that what it's called for real? No, but whatever. Hey, did I ever tell you that there's $21 trillion, over $21 trillion, it's a low estimate, missing from the Pentagon since right around the year 2000? Did I ever tell you that? It's a really exciting story that I believe should be talked about every day until something's done about it. It kind of makes a lot of the other things really small in comparison, and it also makes you go, hey, all that human trafficking that we're all talking about right now, and it's really big, wonder where all the funding comes from, or at least a good chunk of it. I don't know. But when I think about that and the connection to the 21 trillion missing, over 21 trillion missing, if I didn't say that the first time. You did, but whatever, I'll say it again. Okay. Right. When I think of both together, I get a Peter tingle. Now, some would go, Wayne, whoa. You're Peter, are you just saying you're pee-pee ting? Are you saying that human trafficking turns you on? No. It's a reference that you obviously don't get because you didn't see Spider-Man Far From Home. Or even one of the trailers. Because I think it actually is in one of the trailers at this point, now that it's been released, where Aunt May calls Peter's Spidey sense his Peter tingle. It's a cute little thing. So now do you get it? My Spidey sense goes off when I put the $21 trillion missing. Like I said, over 21 trillion. When I put the two together, human trafficking, all that, and then a whole bunch of other dark shit. Look. Oh, that's right. It's a podcast. It's only audio. But yeah, hair's standing up. Oh, Wayne, what do you think? You're a genius figuring that out? No, for fuck's sake, man. It's as easy as telling me, or you, that water is wet. It's so disgusting, and it's right in front of our face, which makes it extra disgusting. That it's like the hands go up going, I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear. Well, God damn it. You need to change that. So on the Monday hour, I talked about I've had a couple of diagnoses lately. And the one I mentioned on Monday, I was informed that I have mild emphysema after a CT chest scan, I guess, a week ago. Now, the medicine that I have to take for this new mild emphysema really sucks. It's awful. It gives me headaches, makes me moody. It has my stomach fucked up. It's an older medicine called no cigarettes. And I'm starting to think that this, at almost 48 years old in a month, 3 weeks, 48 years old, and this medicine has me thinking that I should add to my resume. And I'm going to put on there hitman. Sorry, hit person. What do you think? Is 48 years old too old to become a hit person? Because this medicine has me in the perfect mindset for it. I'm pretty sure within a few weeks I could shoot I was going to do a Star Wars thing, a gun dart, or shit. I lost it. I thought I had it too. Some Luke reference, something about is it a gun dart? Whatever. I blew the goddamn joke. Welcome to a normal set of Waynes. What the fuck is it? I'm gonna have to look it up at some point. Should I do it right now? Should I? All right, fine. Luke Skywalker can shoot and just left it at that to where, quote, what is it? Used to shoot these back home in a T-16. Come on, open quickly. I'm doing a show here. Luke Skywalker. There it is. A wombat. Wait a minute. Where's the Luke Skywalker's a psychopath? Where's the quote? Wait a minute. Where is it? These wombats are from Chicago, baby, Joey. Now that I know what a wombat looks like, I have to wonder why Luke Skywalker was bragging about shooting them. When being briefed on the mission to take out the Death Star, he told everyone he used to bullseye wombats in his T-16 back home on Tatooine. Well, I wish I hadn't clicked on that. But you know the ding-dang reference. All right, now that I've explained it, I've really shown you what a hack I am. You're welcome. Honesty is what we're all about here, and integrity. Did I tell you it's only $2 a month on the Patreon page? Did I? Yeah, right. So yeah, I think I could be a really good sniper within 3 weeks. And I think I mentioned it in a previous hour where there's we all have Heisenberg. I call mine Wayness. And I'm going to have a tall cat in the hat type hat, like Slash, but it's just going to be taller because it's going to be all black, no stripes. So you're going to hear all about my shooting range shit. I'm totally joking. I hate fucking guns. I don't know where I was going with that, but you know the joke. You know what I'm kidding about. God, Jesus, no cigarettes really fucking sucks. Sorry. Coffee? Sure. Joint? Sure. I don't have a lighter. So later today, I'm going to take, instead of becoming a hitman, hit person. Later today, I'm going to take Peter Joseph up on his tweet and maybe embarrass myself a bit and or piss some people off. Don't care, gonna be worth it. Peter is a hero of mine. Peter Joseph from the Zeitgeist films and other terrific pieces of art, and directed a Black Sabbath video. It was actually chunks of it were taken from Zeitgeist Moving Forward. New Human Rights Movement book. An excellent book, and you can find all kinds of stuff on YouTube. The TZM official YouTube channel has a bunch of his lectures, which are fantastic, and interviews with Jimmy Dore, Abby Martin, Lee Camp, and a bunch of others. Do it up. Peter Joseph, to me, is an MLK of our generation. He's one of many. That's a fact. Now, I need to find the tweet. I thought I retweeted the ding-dang thing. Where is it? I know I do. All right, well, it's under my likes. Anyway, Peter, everything's tiresome. Where did it go? Did he delete it? He must have deleted it. Son of a bitch. Shit, Where is it? Come on, man. His page, this is weird. His page is not even loading on Twitter. Is it my internet? Or what the frig's going on? Anyway, he tweeted that we all should tweet to famous people that if they have kids, that if we don't do anything right now, if we don't start really doing shit instead of these Band-Aids on sawed-off shotgun blasts, is basically how we try to fix things. We've been doing that for a long time, and why everything's still so fucked up. So, we know there's people that we're running out of time. So tweet famous people that if you have kids, just know that, if we don't do anything, start doing shit now, they're fucked. And it has nothing in profit. We got to start doing shit immediately, profit or not, or whatever. Yeah, his page is just spinning. He must have had to delete the fucking tweet. Peter Joseph left the social media building on July 17, 2019. If you care to know what he is up to, join his mailing list at peterjoseph.info. End transmission. This just went up 20 minutes ago. So he must have deleted that, even though I'm still going to take him up on it. I'm gonna do it, even though I can't remember now because he deleted the tweet. I can't remember exactly how he worded it. So maybe I'll email him saying, hey, what was that shit again? Because I want to do it. But it wasn't mean. It was just, you guys, we got to fix this shit now. This profit mindset, this shit about your money. Now, if we move into a system where everybody has access to everything, nobody's going to have to worry about stealing or anything. Nobody loses. So the people that are afraid that they're going to lose all the shit that they have, they're not going to lose it. We're just talking about where we make the tech with food and all the necessities of life and all this really necessary shit. We can have a major abundance, and that brings down crime because don't have to steal because I can get exactly what I want from here, blah blah blah, and then you actually can live and actually grow with your families and your friends and have the time, and there's all kinds of stuff to learn. But the major drudgery shit and all the food, not all, but most of the food production and all that quality shit can be done with such technology locally. So then we take down the waste from shit being shipped all over the fucking country for no reason. Well, for profit, for money, but it's just waste. So does capitalism ruining the environment? You're goddamn right it does. It ruins everything. Anyway. Did I tell you later today I'm going to take up Peter Joseph on his tweet? How interesting. And that's like live news. That was like breaking news, man. At least for me. It's a Wednesday, so if this was a Monday or a Friday hour, that means you're a whip, so you already know how I feel about Peter. So that means you most likely know who he is. But if you're new, because this is a Wednesday hour, you might not know who Peter is. I highly suggest looking him up. If you think I'm interesting, he's even better. Not as goofy. But pretty much the same streamline of thinking and thoughts and where we need to go for solutions. And that's the thing, people with solutions like if the solutions are too radical, it's funny how you realize that half the people that want to butt heads with you about it are telling you that all you're doing is complaining. Like, no, this is a batch of solutions. No, this is a problem, and bullet point of a problem, and here's a whole list of solution things for that, and another one. That's not complaining. What the fuck are you saying? That's gaslighting. Shut the fuck up. You're not allowed to be part of the conversation if you're going to do shit like that. Know what I mean? I do. Thanks. Hey, everybody. It's 22 After on the Waning Interest Podcast on Wednesday, July 17th, 2019. How are you? Don't do that anymore. Okay. Because it's 2010 and it's July. This is an anniversary. Because it's 2010. What the fuck? Take two? Because it's 2019. And it's the middle of July. It's the anniversary of an event that happened in 2010. Thank you for the fix. You got it. If you're new to the program, I mostly grew up in Maine, a little bit in Northern Virginia. Maine, then Virginia, then back to Maine. And after graduation, went to Australia worked for a few months for money, and then went to Australia for 5 months, then came back, worked a bit more, and then at the end of that year, 1990, moved to South Florida. 11 years, then Nashville, then California. So, I've been away from living in Maine since 1990, the end of 1990. So I'd go back every 3 years. And in 2010, it just so happened where I had been, I was, as a friend of mine would say, back on the booze. He used to cut that out of Inquirer covers, magazines, or whatever, back on the booze. And he'd tape it at a spot where I'd find it, and fucking just to make me this fucking funny. That's friendship. That's funny shit. Back on the booze. Because I stopped drinking for 5 years almost exactly. Middle of June 2005 to the middle of June 2010. So, but when I went back, I did just a little bit here and there. But a month later, I was in Maine with my daughter for a week on a little vacation, so she could visit the family and the family could visit us. So I go back, like I said, every 2 or 3 years. So we're there in 2010, and one of the reasons to go in July was the family used to have this pig roast on our huge property. Come down the hill during the week of this pig roast, this annual pig roast that my family would do. And it was like, well, what the hell? Is there a Grateful Dead concert going on down here? What's going on? What are all the tents and the RVs? It was huge. But anyway, that was a good time to go because, it's a big party and good time to visit. And we didn't have to go far because there was all people coming to us. Brilliant. See what I'm saying? Brilliant. I'm a gas saver. I'm green. Anyway, so as I said, I was back on the booze. But not heavy duty. But one night, it was a little bit, but I remember it very well because it was so insane what I was hearing. And it's an example of the majority of my life where I have to apologize for somebody being a dick to me. And I'm kind of done being the bigger man. I'm getting old, so I'm like shrinking, so it doesn't really work anymore. So one night, like I said, every night is a party. It's like 5 nights. So people start showing up Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever. And the pig roast actually, pig would go in either Friday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday, and then Sunday was the big feast. Or it went in Friday, and Saturday was the big feast. And then Sunday was when people started to leave hungover and shit. That's how I think. The second one, that's more correct. So, music, a lot of people played guitar. Once in a while, there was a drummer. And again, I wasn't there every year. But in 2010, one of my family's friends, an older gentleman, my parents' age. Now, my dad was in Vietnam, along with his older brother and other people. And if you know me, you know I understand Vietnam more than just, it was a war about communism. But we're done with that. That's really tired and boring. If you're one of those that thinks that that's just how it is, what it was, and don't center on things like, they made a movie, American Gangster, with Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington about the man who used to ship heroin from there in caskets of dead soldiers and sometimes actually in their bodies. It was a drug run. It was a drug thing and mineral and other shit. Stealing a bunch of shit. That's what it was. We're the stormtroopers of the world, and that's a fact. Anyway, it does go with the story. Well, this one friend of the family. Now, my dad is not here. My dad is in Florida at this point. Or no, he's in Pennsylvania. My parents have been divorced, so this family friend is not. My dad is not actually there. My stepfather's there, and he was actually sitting right next to me at this point. A lot of people had gone to sleep. It was pretty late. He had a pretty good buzz, and this friend of the family was buzzed and running his mouth with a little bit of racist shit, and he was wearing a, American flag T-shirt, black T-shirt with an American flag and something on it. I don't know if it was a 4th of July, whatever. And this is nothing against troops, of course. I'm all for troops against war, pro-peace troops that come back and tell the truth of what really goes on. The stormtrooper thing. Anyway, this guy, the racist stuff, was the first thing to bother me. And I was very nice at first. As you can tell, I'm pretty nice. I'm not confrontational until you're confrontational with me. But you don't know that yet because you haven't been confrontational. But see, obviously right now, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You do. Nice. See? But anyway, nicely, I would say things like, wait, we'll call him Chuck. I'd be like, wait, to Chuck, you do realize what you're saying with this, means this, and it doesn't really look well for you to, still refer to that kind of thing. It was wrong. A lot of shit was wrong, but I was kind of trying to figure. And he didn't want to hear it, who am I to say, right? And this guy really doesn't know me. Obviously, this wouldn't happen. And I can't remember exactly what the last thing was, but at some point, for no reason, he steps over. There was no reason for him to get this confrontational. I was talking just like I'm talking here. There was no need. Alcohol, of course, helped this whole thing. And I wasn't being an extra dick. I know I wasn't. I was actually being a pretty good drunk, falling back, falling off the wagon. I was actually being pretty good. I was making sure, wait. And I was thinking things out. Yeah, we can keep drinking. I was doing more thinking. That's why I woke up with more headaches. But anyway, at some point, he steps towards me. Well, I'm sitting in a chair, and he steps towards me confrontational. He's like, listen, the only reason you're sitting there is because I fought for your freedom. And it got quiet. And I had this look on my face, kind of like I have right now, that has a little gleam in the eye and on the front, one of the teeth. And I stood up. And I went, please step away from me, number one. And number two, I'm not here because you fought for my freedom. I'm here because back in 1970, my dad fucked my mom. I don't think you were there, but I appreciate your caring so much for my dad fucking my mom that you fought for my freedom. All right, I just made up the last part. The only part that really happened was I stood up and said, step away, and then you didn't fight for my freedom. I'm not here because you fought for my freedom. I'm here because my dad fucked my mom. That's where that ended. But that last bit I just thought up, man, I wish I had said it then. I probably did say some other version of it because I was done being nice. You fucking believe that bullshit? Our property, my family's property. And you step into somebody's face, that's like, you know what it's like. It's fucking wrong. It's fucking bullshit. But like I said, to start off the story is par for the course, as certain people in my life would like to use the phrase of. That was kind of backwards, I know. Artsy. Fucking crazy. I had to apologize. What the fuck am I about? And here's the grossest part about it. Of course, I did apologize because I am the bigger man. I measured. Did I get what I got? I mean, did I get what I gave? Absolutely not. Did I get an apology? Nope. Guess who? That was the morning. That was Saturday. I think that was Saturday morning. Yes, Friday night and then Saturday morning. So I spent the rest of that day at somebody else's house. Try to tell me I don't know how to handle my emotions. Instead of becoming a hitman back in 2010, right then and there with a guy who threatened me, and a guy who had shot at people before and had the cops called on him. I could have done the hitman thing back then. Wow, life would be different. I wouldn't be doing this podcast. Isn't that weird? Maybe you would. It would just be a different podcast. And you better fix that hitman thing to hit person, motherfucker. Thank you. You're welcome. You fucking believe that? I want to hear one of your stories. That's what the email's for. WainingInterestPodcast@gmail.com. And, did I mention? No, wait, what is it? Oh, patreon.com/waininginterest. The link is right there. Only $2 a month. You can pay more, but only $2 a month. You could be part of the Waiting Interest Podcast pack. $24 a year. What the fuck for 2 extra hours a week? Whoa, that's cheap. He's not a whore. He's a slut. So much better. More integrity, right? Right. Thanks. Now, why would anybody want to be confrontational with this guy? Why would anybody want to be Huh? All right, I get it. But it was my property. I mean, not technically mine, but, if, more than his. And he had no right to do that shit. And I wasn't being a dick to begin with. So it doesn't, the backwards world. And then becoming a psychonaut a bunch of years later, whoa. It's even more backwards, isn't it? Careful, the Matrix is real. Did I tell you we're all Neo, aka one? Oh, I do that at the end of every hour. Yeah, I was premature. So, ridiculous story like that? Let's hear it. I want to read about it. Just change the names to protect the guilty. Okay? Okay. Can I have some water now? Boy, retelling that story really frosts my ass. Not really, because I'm a psychonaut. I've been able to let go, but it's still strong in there, because how can you forget something like that? You're only sitting there because I fought for your freedom. How fucking... Man, I'm trying to think of a more disgusting thing to say to somebody. Oh, here's another one. Here's one that's nasty. Somebody calling somebody a rapist who's not. Or anything that, sexual deviancy shit that really isn't. That's nasty. I'm sure some of you have probably dealt with that shit. I personally know some. We should probably move on, right? Yes. Thank you. Why not? It's 38 after on the Waiting Interest Podcast. It is time for the Wednesday joke. Just for you. Now, if you're new to the podcast, on Wednesdays I go back in time. See, I'm 5 years in, technically 4, because it was a year off with a busted foot. 5-year comic. I'm still barely a Padawan. That's a Star Wars reference for if you, yeah, right. People like Jimmy Schubert, Bill Burr, those are Jedi. Doug Stanhope, Jedi. I'm barely a Padawan. But what I like to do is take, so meaning I'm, I would say there's a flavor of hack, but I mean to be a little bit hacky for the goof, because goofiness obviously works for me. But less is more, so I do the goofy, but it's not overly goofy. I've just noticed that I need that goofy. I need that goofy. Oh, I could take that. That's a good drop. I need that goofy. That makes me sound homosexual and bestiality-ish. Damn it. And cartoon sexy-ish. It's just this whatever the hell it is. I mean, you want to fuck cartoons? See, this is not the case, but that's what somebody could turn it into. And I wouldn't blame them. As long as they do it for the funny and they don't do it to be a dick. Anyway, point is, obviously, even older shit that I've written to be funny is going to be shittier than what you're listening to right now, even though I haven't written any of this. These are bullet points, and I'm just a stream of consciousness for the most part. For the very most part. Can't you tell? Thanks. What was I saying? Yes. So you can only imagine how bad something that I wrote like the first year in 2014. Oh man, it's you know how we've all written emails or something, or you know, maybe video of something that, what the fuck? And you go back and watch, and it just, you know, like I said a second ago, we've all got those. So I find them fun to read to you. And today's come from, let's see, one of them was from January of 2015. And then there's a sort of a break, and some part of it has to do with my foot. But I also didn't go all the way through my old emails, and I think some shit's in draft that never got sent, and I have to go through those. But I thought I had prepped enough, and this is where I am. So the second one is from January 2016, a year later. And actually, part of it, I think part of it was in my first set at the Improv Lab in January of 2016. Anyway, whatever. Get to it? Yeah, I should. So anyway, the one from 2015, little one-liner. You know what prison is? Linked in with uniforms. And much more useful. Holy shit, did he really say that? Oh my God. I've mentioned parallel thinking before, and of course, I think I said that one maybe 2 or 3 times and went, this sounds like it's kind of one of those too easy to realize that many people have probably said that. So I went, but I gave it to you. That was January of 2015. Oh, stunning, stunning. Thank you. Anyway, so like I said before, mild emphysema, 32 years as a smoker. So of course I've got some jokes about the cancer sticks. People say, Wayne, if you give up those cigarettes, food, and nature, smells so much better. And I say, true, but my Uncle Tommy will smell a lot fucking worse. Have you ever been in a room when he takes his fucking shoes off? Has he ever hugged you? I rest my case. But I smoke, eat tons of sugar, and do drugs because I'm into erectile dysfunction. I'm doing the world a favor. Thanks to my parents' drug and alcohol abuse before I was born, and now my abuse when I below a load, it looks like a Rubik's Cube. And who wants that? Besides Stephen Hawking. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the Wednesday radio jokes here on the Waning Interest Podcast, July 17th, 2019. Aren't those bad, but still funny? Take two. I just deliver them better now, because obviously, take two. That's me. And obviously, this was when Stephen Hawking was still alive. So the reference wasn't wrong. So if I did that joke today, people would be like, that doesn't work. He's dead. That joke don't work. He's dead. And that's why I haven't done it. I had a whole bunch of cigarettes. I think I've done another cigarette one that I used to use. But now, lately, the only cigarette stuff is in one of my first opening jokes that I will not do here because the stuff is happening right now. When's the next time you're gonna go on stage? I have no clue. What do you mean, show? Yeah, I don't know. I don't ask. I'm one of those, I don't like to ask. I'd rather be asked. Be asked or asked? Both. Judged by performance. I want to be approached like a girl. See? It all makes sense now. Does it? Right? Am I? When? Okay. Holy shit. I know, this isn't it? It's like somebody seems to be or too medicated. I know that's what it seems, but it's not true. It's just me being me for you. I know some people are listening going, I know that. I'm not stupid, you know. But I also know that there are a bucket load more that are puking twice as much. But 75 bucket loads more of that are laughing their asses off. And no offense, but you guys are probably not the brightest. You're definitely not the brightest if you took that as a joke with you being the target, because obviously I was the target, because if I'm calling you stupid for laughing at me, then obviously I'm saying that I'm not worthy to be laughed at, but in actuality, I am, because the self-deprecating part is a touch of the charm. I know. So, where were we? Wednesday joke. Oh, I did that. Where were we? Wednesday. Where were we? Did I make you think that the tape was fucked up? Thought I hung up, didn't you? Do you know the reference? Do you know the reference? If you guessed Ace Ventura, you're correct. Did you hear the fanfare? Rick Riley just hit the button. What? What? But what did you think of the jokes? Oh, thank you. So, should we move on? No? Did you want to talk more about the jokes? Erectile dysfunction is good. Because there is a slight problem with overpopulation. So as time goes by, you know how you used to think that different strokes was funny? And then a bunch of time went by and you went, what was I thinking? A bunch of years ago, everybody was like, oh my God, erectile dysfunction. Oh my gosh. Now, give it to me. I love it when my dick doesn't work. The stress. It makes it so I don't have to take medication. You don't take medication. Like I said. Erectile dysfunction. Good for the planet. You know what else is good for the planet? Vasectomies. But you already knew that. I love that Bill Hicks thing. Can you calm down on your rutting until we figure out this food air deal? Woo! Hey, did you hear that mild emphysema? Whew. God, what a great Wednesday, huh? Or this could be 2 years down the road. And you might be listening on a Saturday morning. And so, yeah, no reason not to get a little as well. Isn't this the best 51 minutes and 18 seconds that you've ever listened to? Yes. That was really sweet. All right, it's 51 and a half after. Time for the Wednesday radio story, where here on the Waiting Interest Podcast, I pull out a story from the past. And most of the stories that I have are fucking radio stories, because that's where most of my time has been spent, apparently. So, a couple of hours ago, I think I mentioned, got into radio in 1994. So from 1994 to 1996, we were in this building in North Bay Village, WIOD, North Miami Beach. And we were in this building with two other radio stations. And a couple of the engineers, we'll call them Steven and Sam. These guys were fucking geniuses. They were like Data from the Goonies, but white. Just as nerdy. And fucking funny. But these guys were amazing. So I told a story recently about how, if you're new, how one of our friends decided to do an hour of talk radio, and I was producing it, and he didn't know that I let Steven and Sam in to rig this remote control thing where it would shoot water into his crotch while he was sitting at the board in the studio while he was on the air. Fucking guys are genius, man. Greatest pranks ever. Well, after that one, I wanted to hang out with them a bit more. And one day after I was done, I think I'd worked a morning shift or an overnight shift, and they were going to do this thing, and they seemed really excited. And I went, I think they're going to go bomb somewhere, so I'm going to go with them. No, that's not funny. Yes, it is. Okay. Well, it did actually turn out to be a bomb, sort of, figuratively. I was like, so what's going on, you guys? What are you so excited about? I was like, oh, you got to check this out. You got to check this out, and you can help us if you want. Okay. So we get into, I believe it was the radio station van. That radio station was somebody's van. And it had some pretty cool gear in there. And we didn't go far. I don't think we were maybe a couple of miles from the radio station. And there's a little shopping center. Probably 20 shops, like 10 on top on the second floor and 10 below. This little spot, not huge. But one of the downstairs ones was a music place, electronics, not a Radio Shack, but a mom and pop place. And they had speakers outside that were blaring, and it was urban music, and it was obnoxious. Well, we pull up to very close to the front, and they're excited, and they're saying all this shit that I don't understand. I've not hung out with these guys this much, and I'm starting to get. I'm like, wait, we're white boys in a neighborhood that we stick out. We're the minorities here, and what the fuck is going on? Should I be more scared? So they tell me, Steven stays behind the wheel, and he's got like a CB radio thing that's hooked to some other shit that's in the van. And he tells me and somebody else, I can't remember if it was Sam or the fourth person that was with us, which I think was the friend that got squirted while he was on the air, if I can say that. Go inside and turn all the radios up all the way. And then turn them all to this certain frequency. And it was an FM frequency. I can't remember exactly what it was. It doesn't matter. I was like, okay, what the fuck are they going to do? And I wish one thing had gone a little different, because I think it's affected me to this day. What? Well, we do that. I go in, I take one side, and he takes another side, and it starts to get a little more quiet because people aren't flipping with all around them, all the different stereos. But that one outside is pounding. And somehow I can't remember if it was me or him that found the one that was for the outside, those speakers that were just being really obnoxious outside. And all of a sudden it got quiet. And then we looked at each other like, oh, we should leave now. But before we could get to the door, Steven pops in with that CB-like thing, whatever he had, contraption, all rigged. Boom! What are you motherfuckers doing in that store? And he's going through every single speaker through that frequency, radio frequency, that he just kind of popped in on, like, what do you call it, pirated in under this frequency, and just took it over. And out those outside speakers, everything inside. And I really do think it affected my hearing worse than a Metallica concert. Like running out of there like there were gunshots. Like, oh my God, this is so loud. Jump in the van. And they don't know, and everybody's still wondering, where the fuck is this coming from? Where the fuck is it? And we're laughing our asses off. Jump in the van. He's still... And you can hear it all through the whole parking lot, and everybody's just all around going, "What the fuck? What the fuck is that? You motherfuckers!" And he starts talking urban. I almost pissed my fucking pants, and it felt like we had just like robbed a bank or something, because all of a sudden we had to shit and get. I think I was laughing for 15 minutes straight and somehow did not piss my pants. That was one of the greatest radio moments ever, and you're welcome for me sharing it. And I thank you for your welcome. And I thank you for listening. Hey, did I tell you there's a Patreon page? You can click the link there, $2 a month. I'm a slut, not a whore. You heard it here first, folks. So if you're new, I hope you had fun, and I hope you come back for more. If you are already part of the pack, my peoples, that's who you are, my peoples. It's the power of the peoples. Integrity, vasectomy, erectile dysfunction. Watch Redacted tonight in the Jimmy Dore Show. Kim Iverson, Con Kolinsky, Abby Martin. Look for yourself. I'm just here to be a fun, babbling lecturer. Remember, we're all Neo, a.k.a. One. Sorry we ran long. Had to bump comedian Colin Quinn. Thanks, Gary. Daddy loves you. Stop looking at me, man.